The entertainment world has been thrown into absolute chaos tonight after shocking FBI leaks pulled the curtain back on a scandal nobody was prepared for. Rap icon T.I.'s son, King Harris, has been no stranger to headlines for his wild behavior, but this right here goes far beyond Instagram rants or street arguments. Whispers straight out of federal files suggest King is staring down something so explosive, so career-ending, that not even his father's legendary influence might be enough to protect him. Fans are floored, insiders are scrambling, and the Harris dynasty, once untouchable hip-hop royalty, now finds itself caught in a storm that could rip everything apart. Rumors are spreading fast that investigators uncovered evidence linking King to activities that could land him behind bars for years. Is finished, one insider bluntly stated, claiming the evidence is airtight and the fallout inevitable. Emotions are running high as supporters flood social media demanding answers, while critics smugly claim they saw this crash and burn coming from a mile away. What exactly is going on behind those locked FBI doors? What skeletons are about to be dragged into the light? And how is King's fiery attitude colliding with T.I.'s desperate attempt to keep the family's empire intact? The whispers began late into the night when a leaked report allegedly surfaced from deep inside federal records, claiming King Harris had moved past being just another reckless celebrity kid. According to those who claimed to have seen the documents, the situation had escalated into something far more sinister. The leak suggested King had been under quiet federal surveillance for months, and the evidence gathered was reportedly so damning that prosecutors were gearing up to move forward. Fans could hardly process it. One day he was flexing jewelry on live, and the next, his name was tied to words like charges, conspiracy, and prison. Inside the Harris household, tensions were at a breaking point. T.I., the self-proclaimed king of the South, was reportedly furious, storming through their Atlanta mansion at night, shouting, "I told him this was coming. I told him this path was going to catch up with him." Tiny, King's mother, was allegedly in tears, begging T.I. to calm down. "He's still our son," she cried. "We can't abandon him now." But T.I.'s frustration was undeniable. After decades building an empire, it was now crumbling under the weight of his youngest son's reckless choices. Meanwhile, fans were completely split. Social media turned into a battlefield, with heated debates breaking out across platforms. Some defended King, claiming he was misunderstood and unfairly targeted because of his last name. Others argued he had been acting invincible for too long, and now reality was finally catching up. One viral tweet summed it up. King thought he was untouchable. The FBI just proved he's not. But what exactly are they accusing him of? That's the question burning across the culture right now. The leaked reports hinted at late-night altercations, shady financial activity, and even ties to individuals already on law enforcement's radar. While nothing had been officially confirmed, the leaks painted a picture of a young man spiraling out of control. King didn't help matters either. Hours after the story broke, he allegedly hopped on Instagram Live, pacing in a dimly lit room, shouting, "They trying to play with me. They think they can scare me with lies, but I ain't folding. I'm no punk." The live drew thousands of viewers instantly. Some begged him to shut it down before he made it worse, while others cheered him on for standing defiant. But behind closed doors, T.I. was said to be fuming. According to insiders, he ripped the phone from King's hand after the live ended, slamming it onto the table. "You're digging your own grave." T.I. shouted, his voice echoing through the house. King snapped back, "You don't understand me. You never did." Tiny tried to step in and mediate while the younger siblings looked on, terrified by the escalating fight. The household was divided, and the cracks in the family's once solid foundation were now visible for the world to see. Outside the mansion, the hip-hop community was buzzing. Some artists quietly reached out to show support, but others kept their distance, unwilling to get caught in the crossfire. The Harris family's image, once golden, was under siege like never before, and the culture couldn't look away. One unnamed rapper summed up the industry mood best. "We can't have his drama attached to us. If the feds are involved, you better believe they're watching everybody around him." And just when it seemed the Harris family already had enough on their plate, a new twist shook everything. A former associate of King, someone who claimed to have been with him during those infamous late-night outings, stepped forward with shocking claims. According to this insider, King had been running with the wrong crowd for months, and the FBI wasn't just watching him. They were watching his whole circle. He thought he was untouchable because of his daddy, the associate sneered. But the feds don't care about rap royalty. They care about facts. That revelation sent shockwaves through the culture. Fans rushed online, combing through old videos of King flexing money, arguing in public, and talking reckless. Suddenly, everything looked like evidence of a much darker reality. The frenzy only grew when Tiny finally broke her silence. In a soft, emotional plea, she told a reporter, "We just asked for prayers. People forget he's still a young man learning. He has a good heart, but has lost his way." Her words broke the internet. Some sympathized with her heartbreak, but others accused her of enabling King for too long. One viral comment read, "Tiny always plays a caring mom role, but at some point you got to admit your son is out of control." T.I., on the other hand, took a far harsher approach. According to sources, he started calling in favors from lawyers, investigators, and industry insiders, determined to control the narrative before it destroyed the Harris brand. But just when it seemed the situation couldn't possibly get any worse, another bombshell dropped. An alleged FBI insider leaked word that there was video evidence linking King to a late-night incident under federal review. Details were scarce, but the very idea of video proof was enough to set the internet ablaze. Speculation went wild. Was it a fight? A deal gone wrong? Something bigger? Within hours, hashtags like #FreeKing and #KingHarrisExposed were trending side by side, showing just how divided the culture had become. Inside the Harris mansion, chaos only deepened. King grew more defiant, openly refusing to stay quiet despite his father's strict orders. In one heated exchange, he shouted, "I'm not scared of no FBI. I'm not scared of nobody." T.I. snapped back, "Boy, you don't even know what you're up against. You're not in control anymore." Tiny, caught in the middle, broke down in tears. "We can't lose him. Not to the system. Not to his pride," she whispered. That raw moment, when it hit the internet, struck a chord with fans everywhere. Many said Tiny's pain was the most real thing they'd seen in the entire saga. But King's defiance had real consequences. The more he pushed back, the more his image crumbled. Brand that once courted him began pulling out of deals, unwilling to be tied to federal heat. One company even canceled a collaboration at the last minute, saying the risk was too great. Meanwhile, his so-called friends began disappearing. Faces that once crowded his Instagram lives were suddenly nowhere to be found. Then came the ultimate betrayal. Rumors spread that someone from inside King's own circle had flipped, secretly cooperating with investigators. The identity of the snake was unknown, but the whispers alone sent King spiraling. In a now-deleted post, he raged, "They all snakes. Ain't nobody real no more." Behind the scenes, T.I. got hit with yet another chilling warning. Insiders claim he was told the leaks were only the beginning, that far more damaging revelations were still to come. He reportedly sat in silence after hearing the news, staring into space before muttering, "They're not just after him. They're coming for all of us." And with that, the stage was set for an even bigger storm. By the time night fell over Atlanta, fans waited anxiously for the next twist, unaware that what came next would strike at the very heart of the Harris family. The next morning, the atmosphere inside the Harris mansion was heavy with silence, the kind of silence that comes after storm. But it didn't last long. Just as the family tried to catch their breath, another wave of chaos hit. According to insiders, T.I. received a phone call he would never forget. A federal contact warned him that the FBI were preparing to go public, releasing a statement about King's alleged involvement in ongoing criminal activity. The words hit T.I. like a punch to the gut. He reportedly slammed his fist against the kitchen counter, startling Tiny as he quietly sipped her coffee. "They are trying to destroy us," he muttered, pacing the room with a trembling voice. Tiny's eyes filled with tears as she asked the one question no one wanted to face. What if they really have something? King, overhearing the exchange, stormed downstairs with his trademark bravado. "They ain't got nothing on me. They just hating cause of who my daddy is. You'll really believe this mess." But his words, meant to sound strong, only deepened the cracks in the family. T.I. spun around, furious. "This isn't a game, boy. This is federal. Do you even understand what that means?" King rolled his eyes, muttering, "I ain't scared of no feds," under his breath. But outside their home, the circus was only growing louder. Paparazzi camped near the driveway. News anchors speculated nonstop. One outlet even claimed to have seen sealed documents placing King at the scene of a violent altercation months earlier. The internet erupted. Some gasped in shock, while critics declared it was only a matter of time before his reckless lifestyle caught up with him. Social media split further apart. #FreeKing kept trending, but so did #LockHimUp. One fan posted a tearful video saying, "I grew up watching their family on TV, and now this? It feels like watching a fairy tale crumble in real time." Another comment cut deep. The Harris family always acted untouchable, but the truth always comes out. Inside the mansion, Tiny tried desperately to shield his son from the noise, but the pressure was unbearable. The storm outside had now fully invaded their home. But King wasn't interested in damage control. Instead, he doubled down, firing up yet another Instagram Live. This time, his energy was even more reckless. "Look, I ain't perfect," he admitted. "But all this talk about the FBI and charges, lies. They trying to paint me out like I'm some villain. I ain't no villain." But instead of calming the storm, his rant poured gasoline on the fire. Fans noticed he looked jittery, his words slurring at times. The comments were merciless. "He looks guilty," one wrote, while another warned, "This is how you dig your own grave." T.I.'s patience finally snapped. According to insiders, he confronted King the moment the live ended. "You're ruining yourself, and you're ruining us," he shouted, voice shaking with rage. Red face, King fired back, "I'm not you, Pops. Stop trying to make me live your life. I'm my own man." The fight escalated so fast that Tiny had to physically step between them, her hands trembling as she cried, "Please, not like this. We can't fall apart now." But the damage was already done. Their once tight-knit unity was unraveling in front of millions. Then came the betrayal no one saw coming. A mysterious audio recording leaked online, allegedly featuring King's voice in a heated money dispute with someone from his inner circle. "You better not run your mouth to them people," the voice snapped. Whether real or fake, fans believed it. One user declared, "This is a smoking gun." The timing was brutal. Just hours later, the FBI officially confirmed King was a person of interest in an ongoing investigation. They didn't name charges, but the acknowledgement alone sent shockwaves through hip-hop. Blogs lit up, producers deleted posts, and one industry vet tweeted, "Sometimes you got to cut ties before it's too late." King felt the sting of abandonment, even if he wouldn't admit it. Behind closed doors, he reportedly screamed at his parents, "See? They all fake. They was never my friends. They just used me cause of y'all." His anger was raw, but underneath it sat an undeniable truth. His world was collapsing, and he had no control. Tiny, desperate, allegedly reached out to an old family friend for advice. Through tears, she confessed, "He doesn't listen to us anymore. I'm afraid of what's gonna happen to him." The friend later described her as a mother watching her child drown, powerless to save him. While Tiny fought with her heart, T.I. fought with strategy. He began meeting with lawyers and crisis managers, even floating the idea of sending King overseas to lay low. But insiders warned it might already be too late. The feds weren't letting this slide. And then another bombshell exploded. A former friend of King's came forward in a tell-all interview, claiming King had been involved in a late-night Atlanta club incident. Footage the feds allegedly had. "I saw it with my own eyes," the friend claimed. "It wasn't no misunderstanding. If that tape drops, it's over for him." The internet went berserk. Was there really a tape? Why hadn't it surfaced yet? And if it was real, what exactly did it show? Speculation alone sent panic through the Harris home. T.I., furious, reportedly screamed at his team, "We need to shut this down before it spreads any further." But it was too late. By nightfall, Atlanta was buzzing with whispers. Every club, every studio, every street corner alive with gossip about King Harris and his looming downfall. The Harris Mansion, once a symbol of power, now looked like a fortress under siege. Fans camped outside, reporters swarmed the sidewalks, even drones hovered overhead. Inside, the atmosphere was suffocating. King sat in his room, scrolling through endless hate-filled comments. Some begged him to change. Others mocked him relentlessly. For the first time, according to insiders, his bravado cracked. Quietly, he whispered to himself, "What if they really got me? What if I can't beat this?" The leaks were only getting juicier, and every new day brought a fresh scandal. But what no one realized was that the most devastating twist hadn't even dropped yet. The next morning, headlines erupted louder than ever. King's face plastered across entertainment sites, whispers of an impending indictment reaching fever pitch. One article alleged ties to violent disputes. Fans were stunned. Critics sharpened their knives. He thought he could play gangster, one commentator sneered. Now he's about to learn what real consequences look like. Inside the Harris household, the tension was unbearable. T.I., drained from sleepless nights, slammed a stack of headlines onto the table. "Look at this. This ain't just your mess anymore. It's our family name, King." But King leaned back with a smirk, trying to master fear in his eyes. "So what? I didn't tell them lies. I can't control the media." His words sounded dismissive, but his eyes betrayed panic. Tiny, twisting her hands, finally broke down. "Baby, please, you don't see what's happening. They are building a case against you. You're giving them the fuel they need." The argument escalated, voices echoing through the mansion until even the younger kids retreated in tears. The family wasn't just battling the FBI, it was crumbling from within. Outside, Atlanta's streets hummed with chaos. Crowds gathered at the mansion gates, some chanting "Free King," while others shouted "Lock him up." The division was sharp, a mirror of the storm raging inside. And then, another devastating twist hit the internet. A short, grainy clip leaked, allegedly from club security footage. Though blurry, fans swore it showed King yelling and shoving another man. His voice was unmistakable. The clip spread like wildfire, racking up millions of views in hours. "This is it," one fan tweeted. "This is what the FBI's got." Another wrote, "He can't talk his way out of this now." The footage wasn't conclusive, but it was enough to sway public opinion. Even King's defenders started to turn. His response was immediate and explosive. Jumping on live again, he furiously denied it. "That tain't me. You'll believe anything online. It's fake. They setting me up." But the more he ranted, the more fans doubted him. Comments flooded in. "That's your voice? Bro, stop lying." Watching the meltdown, T.I. reportedly stormed into King's room, ripped the phone from his hands, and snapped, "You're digging a hole you can't climb out of." King shoved back, shouting, "You ain't perfect either. You got your own past, but they forgave you. Why can't they forgive me?" The room fell silent. T.I. froze, his face darkening as old wounds resurfaced. Tiny, terrified of where it was headed, rushed to pull King aside. "Don't throw his past in his face. Not now." The walls of the Harris mansion shook, not from music or celebration, but from a family at war with itself. And outside, the world was watching every second. But King had already crossed the point of no return, and the crack in his bond with T grew into a canyon. At the same time, whispers of betrayal circled tighter than ever. The so-called informant was no longer just a rumor. It was someone close, dangerously close. Fans went into detective mode, rewatching King's old videos, analyzing his crew's movements, and pointing fingers. The paranoia tore through King's inner circle, and he lashed out with fury, accusing his own friends of selling him out to the feds. In one explosive moment, he screamed at a longtime homie, "I know it's you. You the one talking to them people." Shocked, the friend snapped back, "Man, after everything, you think I'd snake you? You lost your mind." The argument ended with doors slamming and friendship shattering, leaving King red-faced, pacing in rage, alone with the thought that maybe everyone around him was fake. While King unraveled, Tiny made a desperate attempt to hold the family together with a quiet dinner. But instead of healing, it spiraled into disaster. King scrolled through his phone, ignoring food. T sat silent, his jaw locked like stone. When Tiny begged them to speak, King erupted. "I'm the only real one in this house. The rest of you're fake." The words cut through the room like a blade, and Tiny broke into tears. Meanwhile, the industry circled like vultures. One record exec bluntly said, "If King don't fix his image now, he's finished." Labels, brands, partnerships. Nobody will touch him. Reality hit hard. His career wasn't just crumbling, it was in life support mode. Then, like fuel on fire, screenshots surfaced online. Alleged text messages showed King bragging, "They can't touch me. I'm a Harris." Instantly, the internet went ballistic. Critics screamed arrogance. Supporters claimed setup. Either way, the timing was brutal. And just as T thought things couldn't get worse, a top lawyer dropped the bomb. "They've got enough to bring charges," he warned. "It's not if, it's when." T froze, trembling hands gripping the phone. Back home, Tiny found King staring blankly at the wall, whispering, "Mama, what if I can't beat this? What if they really lock me up?" Tiny pulled him close, crying, "We'll fight, but you got to stop making it worse." But peace didn't last long, because the very next morning, a bombshell article ripped across the internet. FBI sources claimed sworn testimony had been secured from someone deeply embedded in King's life. The source wasn't named, but the hint was enough. Social media erupted with a hashtag #WhoSnitched. Inside the mansion, it felt like a bomb had gone off. King exploded, hurling his phone and screaming, "I knew it. I've been telling you somebody's dirty." His fury was volcanic. Tiny tried to comfort him, but King shoved her away, crying out, "They all snakes? Mama, I ain't got nobody." T stepped in cold, voice low but sharp. "It ain't about who snitched. It's about what you gave them to snitch about." The words sliced deep, and King shot him a hateful glare. "You supposed to protect me. This is on you." The fight tore through the house again, with Tiny begging them to stop, but the divide was too wide. Then came the twist nobody saw coming. Wiretap audio allegedly from inside the Harris home leaked online. Clips of voices, sounding like King bragging about fights and money, and another like T warning him to lay low, exploded across social feeds. Fans screamed, "They got wiretaps!" The Harris family was blindsided. Tiny collapsed into a chair, whispering, "They are tearing us apart from the inside." T went ballistic, demanding, "How the hell they get recordings inside my house?" But whether real or fake, the damage was done. Public opinion flipped hard. Supporters turned cold, saying, "This ain't no setup. This is who he really is." King's mental state spiraled. He ranted on socials about snakes and enemies. "They want me gone," he typed, "but I'll die before I let them break me." Some called it a cry for help. Others said it was peak arrogance. Behind the scenes, T scrambled with lawyers, begging to flip the narrative. "We got to show he's just a kid making mistakes," he argued. But the lawyers were blunt. "The narrative's gone. It's about evidence now." Tiny begged for a public apology. King refused. "If I bow down, they owe me forever." The tension reached its peak when an old friend of King sat on live TV, exposing him. He thought he was untouchable. Truth is, he was reckless, the friend said coldly. The interview shattered what little was left. King raged in his room, fists pounding the walls, screaming, "I'll never forgive them. Never." Tiny sobbed in the hallway while T sat broken, staring at the floor. The storm climaxed when the FBI officially confirmed charges were imminent. News anchors repeated one chilling phrase: King Harris may be facing serious prison time. The Harris mansion became a circus, phones buzzing nonstop, fans chanting the gates, drones circling overhead. Tiny whispered to a close friend, "It feels like a nightmare we can't wake up from." And just when rock bottom seemed reached, the ultimate betrayal landed. Reports revealed the informant wasn't a friend, not a bodyguard, not an associate. It was family. The internet went berserk. One of his own snitched. Fans screamed. Inside, King snapped, accusing everyone in sight. "Which one of you sold me out? Who did it?" Tiny collapsed, sobbing uncontrollably, while T stood pale and frozen. The family, once bound by fame and success, shattered under mistrust. As the night dragged on, King locked himself in his room, his cries echoing through the mansion. T, in his study, whispered to himself, "This might be the end of everything we built." Tiny clutched an old photo, praying for a miracle. The Harris Empire was on the edge of collapse, betrayal eating it alive, and federal charges hanging like a noose. And now, The world waits. Was King's downfall already sealed? Or is there still time to flip the ending of this tragedy? The FBI's shadow looms, the family cracks, and the culture is split down the middle. But the story isn't finished. Questions still burn. Who really leaked the tapes? Was the betrayal calculated? And if charges drop, will King's fire save him or bury him? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading them all. Smash that like, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell. Because trust me, this saga is far from over. And the next twist, it's coming fast.